Silver can be one of the most frustrating metals for buyers with huge potential that it hardly ever realizes. And right now, silver's been mired in stagnant price growth, which has really been going on for the past 2 years. So with all the negativity surrounding silver price, should we be scared of it? We're going to talk about the case for buying silver and the case against, so make sure you stay tuned. YouTube, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. I hope everyone's doing well, and I'd like to take a second to thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. Your support has been amazing, which of course makes you guys part of the best damn community here on YouTube, without a doubt. You've all helped this little channel grow, and it means more than you know. So today, we're going to talk about the reason folks are scared of silver, the stagnancy of silver price, reasons for and against buying it, and why I'm still all in. Now that being said, let's go ahead and roll this thing.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission.
And now, on with the show.
All right, so let's go over some reasons that I believe silver is a good buy. Number one, it's affordable. Now, granted, silver shot up to nearly $50 an ounce on two notable occasions, and that was back in 1980 and 2011. But for the most part nowadays, we're averaging right at 22 to 24 bucks an ounce, which is roughly 50% lower than those previous spikes. It's a hell of a drop. But how many other assets or commodities are trading at such a discount in comparison to their all-time highs, especially with all the currency debasement that's going on? Look, silver is cheap. Number two, it should be potentially higher in price. It's estimated that there's 15 times as much silver in the Earth's crust as there is gold, so the silver to gold ratio should be a lot more reasonable than the current ratio of 88 to 1. Factor in that there's an alleged mined silver deficit, and the potential's there. You do have to remember that most mined silver is a byproduct of 31 other base and precious metal mines, so it's not the only metal that's pulled out for the most part. For example, the U.S., I believe, only has 4 dedicated silver mines. Now, I'm not guaranteeing growth or a price increase, but the fact remains, silver should be much higher than it is. It should be much higher. Whether or not it's recognized in our lifetimes, that's another issue. Another factor to consider, silver is consumed and rarely recycled the products that use it. So when we throw out that product with silver in it, it's gone. It's out of here. No longer exists. And with gold being more of an investment metal, it's going to stay in circulation. So in a nutshell, the GSR really should be lower, but manipulation of silver is a big issue. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Number three, it's one of the most versatile metals with myriad uses. Bottom line, silver is the best thermal and electrical conductor of all the metals, so every phone, computer, TV, decent battery, photovoltaic cell, they contain silver. And its high reflectivity means it has demand in jewelry, silverware, mirrors, and solar energy. So it's got a lot going on there, and with that versatility, it's easy to say that a good majority of technology uses it, which keeps the potential increase in price always there. And number four, silver is real money. To those of us who support it and appreciate it. The word itself even means money. Pound was once a pound of sterling silver. Argent is silver. Plat is silver. And in this age of insane currency debasement, money printing, and inflation, well, you got to protect yourself. Silver as a monetary and precious metal has the potential to do that. The dollar itself as a fiat currency is on borrowed time. We all know that. It's already lost 90+% of its spending power since 1913. And we have to remember that every fiat currency in the history of currencies around the world has eventually failed. Silver will always hold an intrinsic value. I mean, it was used for centuries as currency, so who knows? It could come back to just that in the event of an economic crash or post-SHTF situation. So those are the reasons why I think silver is a solid buy, but you regular viewers already know that I like to play devil's advocate when it comes to silver, because everybody should know that I'm trying to keep the content on this channel real, and I'm completely against silver pusher channels. No names, you already know who they are. Anyway, just like anything else in life, there are a few reasons not to buy silver, so you'll have to weigh the good with the bad when it comes to stacking it. But some reasons that make it a risky buy are, number one, price manipulation. There are plenty of folks out there who will tell you that silver price manipulation isn't a real thing, but yet we see evidence to the contrary on any given day. I mean, for example, in August of 2023, 2 former JP Morgan associates were given prison sentences, right, for precious metals price manipulation. So that's pretty real. Another method of manipulation is silver ETFs, which give the impression that, more silver exists out there than the actual supply. It's estimated that for every 400 or so ETF ounces, paper silver in other words, there's actually only one physical silver ounce. So with an alleged healthy supply of silver, the price can never realize its true potential because of those misnomers. And being realistic, there is no way that each and every silver ETF is backed with a legit ounce of silver as it's purported to be. Not happening, guys. And the folks who insist that silver isn't being suppressed, they'll tell you that these fairy tales have lost their credibility, and the derivatives market is always bigger than the physical markets. So believe what you will, but always buy silver by keeping both sides of the argument in mind. It's a big deal there. Number 2, silver price declines during recessions and period of low growth. And this is true. This is very true. With silver, you have to remember one key rule. Its price is predicated largely on industry use. And if the U.S. experiences a recession, that leads to industries cutting back on production, which leads to less silver being used, which leads to silver price dropping. It's a symbiotic domino effect, in other words. Now think back to the COVID time frame. All right, let's go back to that. Silver dropped sub 20 an ounce on a few occasions because plants were shut down. Production slowed to a crawl or to nothing at all. And that's one of the major differences between silver and gold. Silver price really depends on industrial use, and gold tends to stay consistent throughout most times, regardless, because its value is tied more to money and rarity. A lot of folks are concerned about our economy, and rightly so. It's just not a real endorsement to sinking your money into silver or keeping it if you have it. Number three, price movement is just too slow for some folks. And this is definitely something to keep in mind if you're considering shorting silver for profit, just like you would with a stock. Folks, silver doesn't work that way. And if we're facing reality, it's been more than 10 years since silver even sniffed $30 an ounce. That's not going to work for most folks as an investment, which is why most of us are stacking for other reasons. And number 4, they'll tell you silver is a hedge against inflation is a myth. Well, it is what it is. They're entitled. This is another argument you're going to hear against silver. They'll tell you that silver hasn't been money in more than 100 years and that it never will be again. And they're banking on digital currencies and cryptocurrencies as the future, while metals won't have a part in it. They'll also tell you that as a hedge against inflation, silver's been useless. They'll reference how much money has been printed since 1980 and how much currency has been debased since then. And lastly, they will happily inform you that silver is trading at the same price it was 40 years ago, which to them makes it a rotten inflation hedge. Right on, I get it. So those are reasons for and against silver. Now, I know that present price stagnancy has got some folks on edge, but always remember that silver's like a vintage muscle car. It's probably better to hang on to it over the years than sell it. You tend to take a loss if you sell too early. Now, in other words, this too shall pass. Now, that said, I actually do understand the concern, because if we look at this chart, we can see that the movement of silver price hasn't been all that impressive over the last 5 years. Quick look. Here we are in July, a little bit before July in 2019. We bottomed out at $12.27 an ounce. Boy, I wish we'd go back in time. And then we had a nice climb through July 20, and then into January 21, we peaked at $28.52. That's the highest it's been in some time. And of course, silver experienced peaks and valleys and whatnot. But bear in mind, January 21 was when the first case of COVID was reported, right about that time in the U.S. So we're gradually going to see the effect of COVID into July 21. Still maintaining okay. We're doing okay here. Peaked again in February in 2022 to 26.46. But here we are at the absolute peak of COVID. This is when the proverbial crap hit the fan, and you can see we dropped down to a low of $17.95 an ounce. So this is all COVID right here. And then January 2023, we saw a little bit of an improvement, another dip, and then we topped out in April of 2023 at $25.54 an ounce, and we've done nothing but go down or stay marginal since then. So silver's doing basically what it does in this area right here. So what are you going to do? If silver can ever break resistance of $30 and maintain that price, well, who knows what the future holds, right? Now, all that said, has price stagnancy freaked me out in any way? Nope. Am I worried about the alleged future? A failure of silver as a hedge against inflation? Nope. And for reasons I've stated numerous times on this channel, I'm still all in on silver. I've adjusted my goals as I've reached some milestones, and I feel confident that my silver and gold will be there for me when I'm ready to retire. It's all going towards real estate, regardless, which I'd rather have my kids inherit from me than a bunch of metals that they have no knowledge of or no clue of how to get rid of. Or if they did, I wouldn't want someone to screw them over on price because they don't know. So I'm going with land. That's going to be part of their inheritance. To me, I think that's a better inheritance for people who don't understand metals, in my opinion. All right, there you have it. So is the price and stagnancy of silver scaring you in these present times? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below and let me know. I love going through them, so make sure you sound off. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And if you made it this far, well, kudos to you. I'll definitely catch up with you in the next episode, but in the meantime, yeah, you know what's up.
What do you want to do with your life?
Damn right, get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, folks.
You still here? It's over. Go home. Go.